Hello and welcome back to Dyson Sphere Program. My name is Pooks, and as you can see, again, I'm not in the same place where you left me. I've been wandering around. Despite what I said at the end of the stream last time, I decided actually I wanted to do the cleaning up factory just in my own time, so to speak. Because there was a bit to do, and I thought it might be less interesting to people just to see me wander around and fix stuff. I mean, there's a few things that I'll need to continue to fix, like our processing factory here, with only really just a starter sort of variety of it. And we're going to need to upgrade this. As you can see, we're chewing through our processors really quickly. We just can't get enough of it. So that's what I did. I wandered around, I upgraded a few things. I've upgraded all these to tier 2, so it can just produce a little bit faster, which is nice. I also have this silicon coming in. I think I actually wanted it further down the line so it could proliferate. I think that's maybe why it's not. Yeah, actually let's just fix that while I'm here, before we head off on a brand new adventure. Now that brand new adventure is going to be that we're going to be traveling to a new system. That's right. While we did travel to a new one in just to scope it out in the last episode, this time we will be properly traveling. And yeah, see, this is good. This is all proliferated now. Properly traveling and setting up some exploitation of that new system. So to aid in that, I've filled up my inventory with stuff. I've just used a little bit of it on this particular planet, but we've got spare power, we've got those hydrogen ones as well. I'll use those up at some point. But plenty of spare power to get us there and back again, as well as lots of various things that we'll need. So we've got belts, we've got sorters, we've got splitters, gas tanks, assemblers, miners, interplanetary vehicles, you know, you name it, we've got it, which is great. And all of this will be used to exploit our new system that we'll be heading to. So, without any further ado, let's head there. We're going to go for Murfak, set the pointer in that direction, get into orbit, and away we go. Now, I should also check that I've got enough warpers. 15, that's going to get me there and back easily. Set the direction and engage warp. Oh yeah, they seem to have upgraded as well. You used to just fly in a straight line, now you're kind of bumping around the place. Nearly there, just a mere 20 AU out. Here we are, coming up on the planets now. And drop. See how you slow down the closer you get to a series of orbital bodies or gravitational fields. Okay, so there's a few things that we want to grab here. We want to go to Acid Land and pick up some acid. We also want to be at Fire Ice at some point and pick up some Fire Ice. We want to go to America Wants to Invade to pick up organic crystals, but also to set up our Gassy McGasface. We want to go there as well, set up our orbital stations, and we might even head out to Fractal, although that's my least concern. But we might start with Fire Ice. There is a specific thing that we're just going here, and that is for Fire Ice. Who would have thought? Now the reason I'm heading here is I did actually set up a burner factory, yeah, thermal power plant factory, and what we're going to do is we're going to use the hydrogen that Fire Ice produces when we're turning it into something else. I'm going to use that hydrogen to make some more graphene and export it from this planet. Eventually we'll come back and grab other things from here as well. But that is the main point of me heading here. just chill out and head into orbit if we can. There we go. Brilliant. Go to this view. It's fine with the fire ice. So it says we have 7 mil. We've got a couple of veins around the place. What else is this? Got plenty of titanium. So I could actually make hydrogen burners here. Yeah, so let's head down to this bit here. If we can find it. So what's direction? It was down by this pole, wasn't it? Yeah, that's all really nice and close together. So I think we were heading this way. Right, fire ice. Even a little bit of silicon. Nice. Alright, I'm going to set up shop here because I can use the soil pile. Okay. Here we go, back to placing miners again. It's 1.8 million of this stuff, so plenty of it, which is great. This music sometimes reminds me of the music for the Expanse TV show. Just the do 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 do. Okay. Now, oh, hang on, I've got the guidebook open. Don't want the guidebook. Now the recipe we'll be using is this one here. So we need 2 fire ides, and it's going to produce 1 hydrogen and 2 graphene. And we need a chemical facility for that. So there it is there. And so we'll chuck some down, shall we? Titanium here, so we might just run it up to avoid that, make sure we can capture it later. And we'll put it just above the equator. 4, 5, 6. 7, 8. 10, 11, 12. Alright, so we've got 12 of them. What do we need for this spiniform stuff? Not in this system, unfortunately. 8. Damn, save. I should actually set up my belts before I do this anyway. So we're going to have this coming in this side. Down to here. And then from this side, might run it all the way back down for both of them. And then we'll set up our sorters. So, furthest sorter out can be hydrogen, and the closest in can be the graphene. Then we're going to want power to these things. I know I don't have any power production yet. But all we're going to need to do is basically kickstart it, because I'm planning for this to kind of self-sustain it. And then to start back up again if it does lose power. I'm hoping that's what I can achieve anyway. Cool. Then we will want some input lines coming in from here. There we go. Might as well run the 4th, just stop this way. Okay, now because the hydrogen is this one, I want to test a theory first. Probably should have known this before I tried it, but no, all good. Put a burner here. If I just give it one of these, will you work? Yep. You will. Excellent. So, to make those, if I remember correctly, we just need hydrogen and titanium. So we're going to use this for power supply. Because we have plenty on planet. And then I'm out of blueprints for these because I didn't do things. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, it's not that I didn't do things, it's just that I haven't done it with the new belts yet. Alright, so that should be plenty. Run our output this way. Then down. Our input will be like so. Output, input, output. And we're going to create a new blueprint here. Call it smelter line times 12. Save. That's just for future and it doesn't have a recipe input, so all I need to do is just set up the recipes. Whenever I need a 12 line of smelters. Excellent. Okay, so we're then going to run you in like so. Plenty of titanium. Alright, so we've got our titanium and what's happening. Then we want to turn that into some power. So we'll just set up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for now. Just thinking this through, sorry. Input, where for the output? I want to be able to expand it if I need to, so we're actually going to run the output in a like a counterintuitive direction here. Up, then down again along this way. So that way, if I expand out this direction, I can just continue to run things. Alright. And then we want the output coming in there. You're going to make hydrogen fuel cells. We'll power you up as well. And finally, we want some thermal plants. Do rows of 4 maybe. just 20. I say just. Probably a lot, really. It's got bridges in all of them now. Alright. Let's see if we can fire this up. I just drop, say, 10 on the line. Oh. Of course that wasn't going to work. We're going to need to. That's just going to slowly power things up. We're going to start producing graphite. Ah, yeah, that's the other thing that we need to do. Is put our interstellar station here. So that it can send things off planet. You're going to be graphene. Remote supply. Alright, so we have so much fire ice, but that's probably because these guys aren't really running all that fast at the moment. They're only at 27% capacity. In the meantime, these guys are starting to spool up though. Very slowly but surely. That should start making more of these run. I'm kind of curious to know if this can push itself up to full capacity or not. If it can, then I'm going to call it mission successful. How fast is this meant to be? Every 2 seconds. Yeah, it's definitely not happening every 2 seconds. We're going to do some supplemental power as well, I think. Just because if this ever stops, that's going to be my other problem, is that it's not going to self-start again. So by self-starting before, this is what I meant. Just enough power to get something started when it needs to. Of course, these wind turbines absolutely suck on this type of planet. They'll be at ridiculously low efficiencies. Yeah, 70%. Actually, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I was expecting like 30. But that gets us up to half power, with only 2 of those thermal plants operating. We need more hydrogen. That means that these guys are starting to power chain along. Yeah, now we've got more. We've got a full row of these starting to burn through. So this is stacked up to its capacity. So our limiting factor at the moment is hydrogen. What I might do is limit your transport range down to a light year. You are an orbital collector, yep, good. And then just take 4 of these guys. Tell you to collect hydrogen. Now, if I hadn't selected this, it would have headed off to my home system with no warpers to try and collect the hydrogen from the gas giant. But because I've kind of limited it down, let's drop you down to say 5,000 as well. What we're going to do is just make sure that this always has some hydrogen to play with. Like so. We're doing that. Now that will make sense later on. Yeah, we're getting more powered up, that's good. Now it's sucking at its power again though, because this thing's now sucking down a heap of power. But what they'll do is go locally to find hydrogen, or to the local gas giant. So if we go to the planetary or solar system view, sorry, Gassy McGasface is shortly going to have some collectors in it, and that's going to help us out. On the hydrogen front, which means that these guys can run a little bit faster because they'll have enough hydrogen to actually do their jobs. Which means producing more fuel cells for these. What we might do is just kind of ramp things up very quickly here. Give it a boost. Not going to give it those. Because really we want to make sure that we are going to be producing enough power. How much are these actually putting out? 2.61 gigawatts. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 20. Alright, so between them that should be 4 to 40 megawatts. Roughly. Yeah, so probably not enough. That's unfortunate. Solar is crappy here, so we'll just try for more wind to top this up. I want my burners for other planets if at all possible, which is why I'm continuing to do this. Or maybe it's just better to spend them here and not elsewhere. Because the jungle planet will definitely need some better stuff. Maybe just stick my guns here. Wake these up with a little bit extra support. You know what? Let's do it. Thirsty dogs. I don't think it's going to produce enough hydrogen. Okay, we have learned something. This is also not... I think it needs warpers at both ends, maybe. Yeah, I think that might be the case. So let's get it down to here. Local storage, remote demand. There we go. 600 coming in. Might as well just top it up. And 10, 12 AU. Yeah, cool. Alright, so what's happening at the moment is that we should have an interstellar transporter coming in. There it is. Warping into the system. Coming to our planet. And doing a landy. With our supply of warpers. Alright. Remote supply, yeah, so that's what you should be doing. Alright, home base must not have this properly set up. Okay, that's fine. We'll fix that when we're back at home base. In the meantime, that's all I really need to set up, I think. So with 12 of those, that means that we're producing 12 a second. Do we want more? I think we want more. Let's do more. Run you along more. Five, 6, 7, 8. 4 more. Hope this planet never warms up. Otherwise, he's gonna sink into the ice. Cool. Now we're probably oh, we've got enough power now. How about that? I think largely because this may have charged up. Nope, not fully charged. Huh. why aren't you guys hooked up? Oh wait, did I just not do everything? Why did I not do that? Haha, look at all the hydrogen it has now. Everything it needs to keep supplying things. I think we do want to run this down a little bit further. Put 5 there. Now we got chunks of graphene coming in. Alright, mission accomplished. So that should be a full blue belt of graphene being produced. You can see it turned solid here, which is a good indication, barring some gaps that are coming through, probably down to timing issues of all that coming through. Now, in terms of our fire ice, it's running all the way along there, so good work. Mission accomplished. Oh yeah. And it should just produce these, get rid of the byproduct of hydrogen, and produce these guys to keep powering itself. So all in all, I'm going to call that a good deal. So from here, where are we going to go? We're going to go to Gassy McGasface. Or do we want? You know what? We're going to go to Acid Land actually. Gassy can go next after this. And then we'll go to America once it wants to invade. Push it to the limit. Now, the other thing we've got to start thinking about is casimir crystals. For that, we're going to need more titanium crystals. So this is actually going to partially succeed, fulfill those needs, which is good, because we'll be getting more organic crystals for titanium crystals, more titanium for titanium crystals, and as well as the graphene requirements, and potentially some of the hydrogen requirements too. And here we are, very graceful landing on my part there. Not. Now, this one has sulfuric acid as the main reason that we're here. We also have a fair decent chunk of solar energy, which is fantastic. So all we need to do is go to our gathering tab, and we're gonna just start dropping these into here. And just get as much acid as we possibly can from the pumps we have available. Now there is other things that I can set up here as well, obviously. There's plenty of other materials. That's not our main concern right now. All we want to do is replace acid production on our home planet with pumped acid supplies. because it is, interestingly enough, more sustainable. I'm thinking I want to put this over here, so we'll drop it there and we'll get the soil pile that results from such a drop. And then we are going to do some storage in the meantime and just make sure that no matter what, we're going to have plenty of acid when we need it. Maybe one more row. Cool. Now I don't know how fast these are going to go, so let's just pump up. Charge up one of them, two of them. 28 a minute. Not much, but it doesn't have much power from that either. Alright. Well, how many did I put down? So we've got 5 there, another 10, I think we've got 20. So for 3 rows, that's going to be what? About 7? 7, 7, and 6. Alright. We'll do that. Okay, so there's... Alright, then we're going to do you. It's going to come up along like so. So 1. 2. Hang on, 1, 2, 3. 4. 5. 6. 7, and then we'll have you coming like so, the last 6 or so. Oh, well then we're going to want to have power for all. Yeah, built up the last bit. Where are you? Here. Cool. Alright, we're all built it up here. Then we want these guys to come in as well. Straight line for you. And do that. And then that. Now you will be transporting acid. You will also be requesting warpers so you can get this stuff out of here. Put it down to 100. Remote demand. Need local suppliers too if need be. Start stretching power up. And then we need to be producing some power. Fortunately, we have that covered in the form of solar cells in this particular environment, as well as batteries. So we're going to make our solar plant just here. Now, if I wanted, I could just even skip the batteries. But I don't need it. I actually need to run it all the time, right? I could have it run just at certain times of the day, and it will probably exceed the amount of acid that I need for quite some time. But that would be a half measure, and it's not that hard to put down some batteries to keep this all nice and ready. Ah, that's acid. Might want that one day, but oh well. Oh, I think that's enough. At least we'll be 200, so we'll just put down 50 of these. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Excellent. That should power a daisy chain along here, and suddenly we have acid production. Now, if this acid is going to go anywhere, we probably want some dudes to be transporting it. Drop you in. You can go however far you want, guys. Go grab stuff. You're not going to be an orbital collector, so we'll turn you off now. And we're all good. Alright, so we'll wait for the sun to come up. Just verify that everything's connected up correctly. Probably also want to check that our power needs are sufficient as well. How are we going on time? We have 25 minutes left on our timer tonight. Come on, Sunny. Oh, there we go. We have power. Alright, it's starting to turn things on now. Not full intensity yet though. Yeah, we're gonna hit our consumption and we should be able to charge. Go. They're all switching on. It's starting to... Ah, I see. So this is why you stick around to make sure things are working. Make sure things are working, I should say. We didn't connect up these guys. Okay. Coop. Here we go. Start filling up with acid. Now, I would have expected these to start supplying things based on the stuff I did before, so maybe I really have stuffed some things up back in the home planet. Or maybe they're just set at storage still. But we have acid pouring out of here at a rate of 70 a minute, so each of these are doing about 1 a second. So 20 of them, that's 20 a second. Bit more. Excellent. Acid production on its way. So once it needed, I can just set it at our home system, fill that up, And let's move on. Now the other thing I can set up here is iron production, and we will be back to do that. Maybe titanium as well, but for the time being, that's really all I want from this planet. Now, we will head off next to Gassy McGasface. And we're going to set up our orbital collectors on this one. Alright, so we want, I believe, transportation to set this up. And then we want to find the equator. It should be near us. There it is. Just wait for it to place. Hey. One thing I don't like about setting up these, it just takes forever. In particular, it takes forever for the drones to get back to you. Sure, they're still flying my way, yep. Here's another one. And here's another two on the way. Come on, guys. Nearly halfway there. Just gonna pause and wait for my drones to catch up. Here it comes. Here's the last one there. Follow it with a cursor. Alright. I'm still losing energy. Let's hold on for a second. Okay. Yep. You. So if you're wondering how many of these orbital collectors you need to do this, it is 40. 40 is a magic number, which is actually a lot of resources to put in the construction of these. But when you've got them set up in a mall, then it doesn't matter. You can just go there, pick up the 40 you need whenever you need to do a gas giant, and then as long as you don't need to do lots of gas giants all at once, which would be a painful experience anyway, then you're all good. Wait for these drones to get back a little bit. Can't see them. There's one. There's another coming in here. There's another coming in here. There's another one there. There's another one there. Oh my god. Slow ass drones. And there's America wants to invade because it's full of oil. Come on, drones. 6 more to go. Oh, nearly missed a drone. There we are. The end is in sight. There we go. So we'll just wait here for everything to place and to get back to me. And we can move on to the next planet. So these guys are pretty much the same as my main system gas giant in that it's producing deuterium and hydrogen. It's producing roughly comparable amounts as well. That's fine because deuterium is valuable, and the more that we are producing naturally is the less fractionation, etc. that I need to set up. So from here we will bust into orbit. Go and head to America wants to invade. Now that we're here, lovely place, we want to go harvest these organic crystals is the first goal that we have for this particular planet. It's off to my left. There we are. That's what we want. That's what we're here for. Okay, so naturally we're going to screw up the local environment. Lovely water, aquatic place that it was. And set up our miners of the organic crystals. Millions of them, or just over a million. Kind of millions. There's plenty of harvesters. We are going to set up some transportation as well. Right here. And straight in you go. Because all you're going to be doing is getting them in as fast as you possibly can. So I'm taking the rare and unusual step for me of giving these each a belt, so that if it's doing as fast as it possibly can to get these in there. Right. Organic crystals, cool. You're also going to be sending things off planet, so space swappers, please, down to the minimum amount that we can ship in. Remote man, you can be the local supply for it as well. power you up, power you, power you, power you, and power you. Now, you might have been thinking, hey, Pooks, you have a problem here, you got no power. So we actually have a few options for power. We could use our crude oil and burn it. We could use the coal and burn that. Or we could use wind, which is 100%, or solar energy. So I think in this case, the oil I want to turn into petroleum. I don't want to waste the output for just burning it for power. Coal as well is going to be useful for graphite later on. So I think that's also maybe not the best use of our resources to burn it. So I think we're going to go with wind power. Which is a little bit annoying on a planet like this. We've got all this water. Even though it does like have us considerable outputs. Might just have to spend some soil pile here to build up where I want to do my refineries. That's fine. We can do that. Shouldn't neglect the poles either, where it's just bloody hard to build anything. So it might as well be power factories. Now you might be screaming at me saying, use solar! Solar is actually not all that great on this planet, it's only at 82%. So our most cost effective, as it were, is still wind farms. How are we going against demand? Horrible. Oh, we're getting there. Maybe we should use solar. Because these do produce 360 to their, oh no, 300. With the math involved, it's probably just as effective putting down wind turbines. They do take up a lot of space, but far more effective than solar on this planet. One in the center, why not? go, how we doing? Hey, 100% satisfaction. Is that just because this is fully charged now? Nope. Brilliant. Alright, so set to remote supply, which is exactly what we want. We do want dudes. There we are. Look at them lift off. I did set things up right. As soon as it gets to 600, it should do another one. And off go our organic crystals. Fantastic. Going to, for quite some time, reduce our need to manufacture them using petroleum. Eventually we will, but that is a big step up. Just by mining it directly means that we don't have to do so much work. I do wish there was a second vein. That's the only vein of organic crystals on this one. And we're down to 6 minutes of time left. But I think I've done pretty good. We've set up fire ice and graphene. We've got acid exploitation happening. We've got our gas giant all set up now as well, and that should mean that our fire ice can import hydrogen from it. And we've got the organic crystals going from here. We also have basis for power on each of those planets. We've got different means of doing so. We've got hydrogen burning, we've got wind power here, we've got solar on another one. So I think we have given some good examples of how to do power as well. And look at that, we've got a train of guys coming. Now, I do want to set up an indicator over there. I just do it twice and therefore that's why it's not working probably. Just get into orbit. Try this again. There we are. And point our direction there, hit caps, and warping home. Now, before I finish up tonight, we are going to go see why we're not exporting that graphene and acid to my home planet. So I want to make sure that's done so I don't forget. We are headed for Earth. I wonder what happens if you hit this at light speed. When you still got warpers. I'll just chuck the indicator to the planet here so we don't have this line going off all the time. Now, where are we? Who was meant to be importing acid? Was it you? Ah, you're meant to be importing graphene, I thought. Maybe, why are you not doing that? Maybe... Ah, yeah, it's all set for remote storage and stuff like that. Alright. So you, sir, remote demand. And you're also remote demand now. Local supply. Right, so this is funking up the crystals now. And also tell it to be our acid supplies. So I'm going to cut this here and cut this here because once that acid arrives, we have so much acid we're not going to know what to do with it. Do that. There we go. Look at all that acid just flooded out of there. Now the other thing we're going to do is just cut this here, cut this here. We're actually going to reverse that belt. Like so. Cut that there. A little bit more too. And then import. Alright. Now, our acid factories can be now turned off. So, it's going to take you and you like so. They're going to run that copy down the line. Well, maybe like so. We are, we're no longer producing acid from here, and we have a whole heap of acid on the ground. There's our alarm. And that's going to be redirected to plastic. What are you using up that you don't have? Plastic. I think you're going to do the same thing, little organic crystal dudes. Just cut these off now. The rest of this can maybe be a project for me, so that you're not all just kind of watching boring bits, or not anything new, at least. Although if you object to that, let me know. I'm happy to keep it on camera. I'm just going to get rid of all the stuff that I don't need anymore. Because these are all going to be repurposed. I'm unsure about this one. Eventually that fire ass is going to run out, alright? Maybe I do want local graphene production. What's plastic take again? It's water, and tells me here. Graphite and oil. We're gonna need this guy more. Is that plastic? Ooh. Don't want to waste that plastic. Alright, we've stopped it from using stuff now, so I think that's all we need to do. It's not wasting anything anymore. Clearly we're going to need some more petrol income, so that's going to be the next thing to do. Done it. America wants oil. America wants oil. America wants to invade for the oil. These guys are all going off now. In fact, we can upgrade all you little guys because we can. Our yellow science going, topped up. Fantastic. Alright, so that's all we have time for tonight. I hope that you have enjoyed tonight's stream. I have, starting off in new systems And as per usual, I'll try and give you a plan of what we're going to do next. So now that we have interplanetary exploitation, I do feel like green science is what we should be going after next. Now to do that, we're going to need quantum chips. For quantum chips, we're going to need plane filters, and for plane filters, we're going to need Casimir crystals. So Casimir crystals will be the next big thing that we're going to be working on. As well as upgrading our processor factory. I think that is going to be necessary, because ultimately when we start building our Dyson Sphere, we're going to want Dyson Sphere components, we're going to want frame material, and we're going to want rockets, all of which are going to need awful lots of processors. So we'll be going to our electronics factory and giving that a big boost. So that's the rough plan: Casimir crystals, processors, electronics, and getting much closer to the construction of our first Dyson Sphere, and not just having this solar sail swarm. We will have a proper sphere under construction in not too long. And then from there, we will be covering the entire universe in Dyson Spheres. Yes, that's the ultimate goal. Make them everywhere. But still a ways off that. In the meantime, my name is Pooks. Drop me a follow if you did enjoy this episode. If you didn't, do it anyway. You know, I might come up with interesting things. Stick around for the jokes, maybe. If you're watching on YouTube later on, drop a like or a subscribe even if you're feeling particularly fantastic. Otherwise, I will see you in the next episode. Bye.